This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. You see the score clock, it's all kinds of screwed up. We got like 1.4 some odd seconds left on the scorebook. The Oilers about to take home a 6-5 victory unless there's some 2006 Arizona Coyotes Chris Pronger shenanigans about to happen against the Oilers here in this third period. What has been an absolute mess of a hockey game. Let me tell you, my first thoughts on this hockey game, quite honestly put, is if this is what 80s hockey looks like in 2022, please find me something better to watch because 6-5, and you could have had a thrilling game all throughout without the referees going out there and making it a live look at the Chicago Zoo all night, just watching some zebras run around on the ice, because that was absolutely embarrassing on the NHL's behalf to do what they did tonight. Obviously, yes, there were a lot of good calls and there were a lot of bad calls, but at the end of the day is at some point you got to stop, just put the whistles away for 5 seconds and don't make it about you. And that was the hard part, and it went both ways, right? Chicago had 10 power plays and the Oilers are in this game and win it because of the power plays for them. So just an embarrassing effort out of the referees tonight to really, I mean, you could have had fun tonight. You could have had a fight in tonight's game. And I know, take fighting out of the NHL, all that. But the Oilers now officially on my screen have won tonight's matchup 6-5 after scoring the first goal, going down 2-1, going down several other times in between then, and playing tied hockey a little bit. But this one, really just a game that got hijacked by the referees and should not have been a 6-5 final in this fashion. Obviously, I'd be a little more miffed if the Oilers lost this one and there wasn't all this kind of craziness to it. But at the same rate, too, the Oilers win, and I'm still very, very mad about the refereeing just at that point, and we won. You know what? I'm complaining about the refs, and we won. So there you go. That goes to shut everyone up that says people only complain about the refs when you lose. This is me verbalizing right now my frustration with the referees despite winning a hockey game, because it's not that I think the Oilers could have won this one 7-1, but this one should have never gone the way it did, and if it went in a different way, you could have had an instant classic. However, Connor McDavid, 4 points on the night, 3 goals, the hat trick, baby, the hat trick out of Connor McDavid to secure ourselves a big old victory in the column. That feels good. Leon Draisaitl, the big goal to clutch it home in the dying minute of the game to put us up 6-5 to finish this one off. A goal and 2 assists for him. Patrick Kane obviously did Patrick Kane things, and a goal and 2 assists for himself. And an ugly victory for our man in net, Jack Campbell, who yet again surrendered 2 goals against in the first period of play. That's something we got to pick up. And here's the fun, interesting fact for you, my friends, is that when it comes down to the end of all results, is the Oilers' penalty kill, despite giving up 2 power play goals against, has actually improved by playing this hockey game, which is just kind of mind-boggling. The Chicago Blackhawks were 2 for 10 on the power play tonight. That's how screwy the refereeing was tonight. I will count up the penalties for you tonight because this was an absolute mess. No matter how you cut it, whether it's the 6-5, whether it's the emotions out of check for the Oilers, the type of penalties being called, the penalties, as many of them being called as there were, the goaltending allowing 11 combined goals in a hockey game. Whatever you want to say about tonight's hockey game, there is plenty to talk about, and I don't think I can cover it all. That's going to be the problem, is I'm already running out of breath trying to think. I got to breathe here at the end of it, and that's the big part for the Oilers tonight, is there's so much to talk about that I don't think you can possibly get it correct tonight. But you look at this, the penalty sheet. Here you go. Holloway, Tenorti. Those were the only 2 penalties in the first period. Then you have Campbell, Niemelainen, Seth Jones, Evander Kane, Caleb Jones, Philip Kurashev, Jake McCabe, Tyson Berry, Dylan Holloway, Darnell Nurse, delay a game on somebody, served by Yes Pugliarvi. Evander Kane, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike. Caleb Jones, 2 minutes for tripping. That's the second period. And then you still have 4 penalties in the third period. So count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19 penalties called in this hockey game. The Chicago Blackhawks 2 for 10 or 2 for 9, depending who you trust on this one. On the power play, the Oilers 3 for 7. And the Hawks, I mean, they played a pretty physical game. They obviously had 28 hits against the Oilers. And still, it did not matter at the end of the day. The Oilers come out of the way with the victory because they were able to solve Stalock one more time than Chicago could handle Campbell. 861 save percentage for Jack Campbell. So yet again, he will indeed drop his save percentage and stay below 800. Don't worry about it. That's a Mike Smith special. And Alex Stalock, that world beater goals against average and save percentage that he was rocking coming in to tonight's matchup, goes down a bit. 6 goals against in regulation, 846 save percentage, and that's how things round out in the goaltending department. And this is the other side too for the Oilers here tonight, is like there were guys that struggled at 5-on-5, guys that did all right at 5-on-5, and realistically Ryan Nugent-Hopkins himself also a goal and 2 assists tonight. So we'll tally up the points here in a minute, but Zach Hyman from McDavid and Kane starts off the hockey game, and then you've got Connor McDavid from Evan Bouchard and Brett Kulak. Then you've got Connor McDavid from Leon Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Nuge's 5th assist of the season. Then Nuge's 5th goal of the season from Draisaitl and Barrie. And then McDavid from Bouchard and Nugent-Hopkins. That's now 11 points in 8 games, may I mention, for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And then Patrick Kane kind of made it interesting, tying it at 5 from McCabe and Jones. Caleb Jones obviously on the board. And Leon Draisaitl from Evander Kane and Kyler Yamamoto. So Yamamoto picks up an assist. And Leon Draisaitl, of course, picks up another goal. And, man, needed that at the side of the net. He needed that. Connor had the fantastic goal for the hat trick, but it was, no matter how you cut it, I could sit here and talk to you for 45 minutes and still not cover off what this game had in store for us all night long. It's a game that's finishing up a 6:30 start, finishing up. I'm literally broadcasting this right now at 9:24, and we're sitting here still talking about a game that should have finished, I don't know, just shortly after 9 o'clock, and it just ended 7 minutes ago. So you're talking, you got an extra 20-ish minutes of hockey out of a game that should have been over a long time ago, realistically speaking, about a Thursday night. And now the Oilers go in on a 3-game winning streak to face the Calgary Flames. Oh me, oh my, don't mind myself. Although the last time the Oilers faced the Calgary Flames, we went on a 2-game losing streak. So now you got to see what ends up happening here. As Adam Larson was in a fight with Tanner Pearson. There was a couple of fights in this Canucks-Seattle game. But before we distract, a 6-5 final for the Oilers over the Blackhawks. And no matter how you want to win, sometimes you got to do it ugly. The Oilers often like to do it ugly, and that's exactly what they did here tonight, is win very ugly to secure a 3-game winning streak. Folks, I'm impressed. It was a gutted out effort. Leon Connor come up clutch. Nuge obviously being very important in our efforts so far this season, gets the job done, and we are off and running on what might be our first big streak of the season. We'll see Saturday. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here. Have a good night.